Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode in our Meet the Venture series for the BLab 2020 cohort. Today, we're interviewing Maggie, founder of Pointz, the new transportation app for bicycles, skates, rollerblades, and other micro transportation. So, to start us off, hello, Maggie. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, my name's Maggie, and I'm a rising junior at Brown. I'm concentrating in environmental studies and planning to do the entrepreneurship certificate as well. On campus, I'm involved in rugby, and I'm a CA in Minden last year. I'll be in Young O this year, and I am also an old TA for Engine 9, so I did that last year.
Ooh, with Barrett Hazeltine.
Yep, and Thano Chaltis, yep.
Oh my god, that's so nice. So, tell us a little bit more about Pointz.
Pointz is an app for micromobility users, and that includes bikes, e-scooters, skateboards, rollerblades, anything with small wheels. And essentially, our mission is to make micromobility rides safer. So we use crowdsourcing and existing road data to come up with the best routes for people who are on their different forms of transportation. And you can think of us as like Waze for micromobility. So if you've heard of Waze, it's like the car app where people give information and they make changes to the maps based on that. So our app Pointz is similar to that in that it takes in that information from people and spits out the information to everybody. So that's the crowdsourcing aspect.
Well, that seems like a very interesting venture. Would you mind me asking what inspired you to start it?
Yeah. So Pointz got started like initially, I guess the idea started on my gap year when I was on my cross country bike ride. We were going from Virginia to San Francisco, and I went with a friend who I met online. And throughout the trip, we were kind of worried about if we were on the right roads or not, or if we could be on safer roads. And so we'd run into a bunch of locals who would kind of redirect us. And I guess I got like the first inklings of the idea there. Like all these locals know what the best roads are. So why isn't this like a centralized source of information that anybody could have access to? Because safety is a really big issue when it comes to bicycling and other forms of micromobility. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I love that origin story. That's so much fun. It must have been so amazing to cycle your way through the country. So, I guess my next question is when did you know you wanted to develop this idea into a venture?
Yeah. I went through the We at Brown incubator my freshman fall, and I kind of explored the bicycling space because I was interested in that and started doing a lot more customer discovery research and eventually decided that I wanted to actually pursue a venture or right now we're working on an app. So yeah, I kind of put together all of the pain points that I heard from the interviews and then translated them into features for the app and did some testing with that. So
Well, that's a really effective way to develop features based on consumer response and what the consumer wants. So, I guess my next question is why is safety so important to you?
yeah, so safety is really important to a lot of people that bike because obviously like when you're on a bike or a scooter or any small form of transportation, cars are a lot larger than you. So you're always nervous about like getting hit if people aren't paying attention or if you're on a road with a really small shoulder, which is like the side part of the road, you're nervous about people possibly like cutting you off or also potholes are issues. If you hit a pothole, you could fall off your bike. Yeah, so it's just like an issue, especially because in the United States, there's not a lot of bicycle infrastructure or small form of transportation infrastructure. So it's a lot more difficult for people to find good roads because it's not like already a huge system that's set up like it is in some European countries. So.
That is very true. We need better infrastructure for micro transportation. So, is any user of micro transportation your target market?
Yeah, so our first like go to market segment that we're trying to target is specifically people who ride bikes because that's like the market segment that I know the most about and that are, in my opinion, and based on research, the most dedicated. So we think that they're going to provide us the crowdsourced information right away. And that's like going to be really important because we want to know what roads are safest so we can develop the routing engine to go along with that and make sure that people are, that safer roads are preferred over less safe roads. So it's going to be people who bike first, and then we're going to expand to other forms of shared micromobility. So like if you've heard of e-scooters and city bikes, different forms of micromobility. So there's all kinds of forms, but yeah, scooters and bikes and skateboards, rollerblades, things like that, small wheels. Yeah.
Well, I always wanted to get an e-scooter, so as soon as I get one, I will be sure to download Pointz, first thing on my to-do list. So what inspires you in your startup?
I definitely think like the inspiration came from the like my I guess initial long distance bike trip, and but like for the day to day, I would definitely say it's just like interacting with the people that we're trying to help and trying to serve, and hearing like feedback from people that they really want like what we're making, and I'll be excited to actually have them on the app and getting feedback, like real-time feedback soon. So yeah, I would definitely say it's just the people that we're working with, and of course my teammates who are wonderful as well.
That's very inspiring. So I guess my next question would be, in what stage of the development process are you?
It's like in product development right now, but it's getting close to the end of that. So we're just about ready to launch the beta test, and that'll happen in the month of July. So we're going to be doing internal testing throughout June. So that just means that we're testing within the team and like making sure that the bugs are kind of fixed as much as we can. And then we'll be doing a beta test in July in 5 northeastern cities with about 100 beta testers. And yeah.
Well, that's so close. So what are you doing to prepare for it?
Yeah, so personally, I have a tech team that's helping me with the app, but I'm also involved on the tech side. So I'm working on the turn-by-turn navigation, which is like when you're on the road and you have like Google tells you which way to turn. It's like that. And then I'm also, of course, doing some marketing. So we're doing prize giveaways and getting people excited, getting people hyped up for the app, and we're launching our social media this week. So just kind of doing some online marketing, things like that, getting people excited about what we're building.
Well, that sure is really exciting, and we'll be sure to keep an eye out for your social media launches. So what is something surprising that has happened so far while you were developing your venture?
So I guess one of the surprising things or pivots that we made was I was originally just focusing on bikes and just focusing on that segment because that's what I had experience in. But I talked to a couple of people who are who were like involved in capital, and they really encouraged me to think broader about what it could be, what the technology could be. So I just recently expanded the vision to include all forms of micromobility, and it works out really nicely because the technology is really similar, and so it's just kind of adding in a few different things you can click on in the front end, and then the back end is really similar because I mean it's all small wheeled objects, which is yeah.
That sounds
So.
that sounds nice. It's really good to think big about your venture. How do you think that BLab will help you achieve this vision of success for Pointz?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think one of the biggest things is being in a group of people that's working on like their idea, right? So we're able to share ideas with each other, share resources, and kind of encourage each other as we go along. And it's really nice because right now I'm a solo founder, and it's just nice to have like a group of people that are also working on a venture, and I think BLab definitely provides that, along with like mentoring. And like the really nice part about BLab, of course, is that we have 8 weeks to work only on our venture, and that doesn't really happen obviously in the school year because you're doing classes and trying to get things done for extracurriculars. And so right now I'm just able to focus on Pointz and do the beta test, really just dig in on what I'm working on.
And well, I guess my next question is, how did you come up with the name for your venture, Points?
Yeah. So it was actually on Christmas break. I was like forcing my siblings to brainstorm with me, and I would be like, okay, let's do 2 hours of brainstorming for the name of my venture. And they were getting like really annoyed with it. But actually my little sister came up with it eventually. And it was like Points with an S at first, but then we were like, okay, well, that's kind of too like classic or boring. So I was like, well, let's try the Z, because the Z is kind of a trendy thing right now. So yeah, that's where we came up with it. It's been debated in our family definitely for a while, but yeah.
And well, to finish us off, what is your favorite quarantine snack?
Yeah, quarantine snack. Let's see. I'm like a huge. This is so weird. It's just like I love peanut butter and jelly toast. So yeah, that's what I make like every morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, also, I got these little Go-Gurt things like that are frozen themed, like the Disney movie Frozen. So I'll freeze them in the freezer and I have them for like a snack at night, like every night. Because I'm like, oh, it's my little treat, but it's not that bad because it's yogurt.
Well, I can't think of any other way to cool down in the summer. So, thank you, Maggie, for your time today. And this is episode 2 of our Meet the Venture series for the BLab 2020 cohort. Thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.